and acknowledge not only those that he's mentioned already, but I look at the Human Services Committee and also want to acknowledge the hard work of Patty Bellock and also David Leach. This was not an easy exercise, and to say it's an exercise is probably understating the fact. This is very difficult. We talk about cutting with much frequency, especially on the campaign trail. And I think when we get down to the nitty-gritty of actually having to go through a budget and make cuts, it is very, very difficult, as those that went through this saw. So the committee process worked. The idea of establishing a number worked. I think back to a couple months ago when David Harris and the Revenue Committee worked very, very hard to establish a number. And when you think about where we were 2 or 3 months ago, where we had a tax hike and the spending limit was set at $36.8 billion. The governor came in and said, I am going to introduce a budget to spend $35.4 billion, and we're at 33.2. That's a pretty impressive place to be. And as the speaker said, the idea of this being built and constructed from the ground up, so to speak, is also something that shows that can be done, and it works, and it's a very, very good product. I would say and caution that this is a start for us in the area of fiscal discipline. We have a huge mess. We have a deep hole. And the idea of discipline for 1 year really doesn't work. We're going to have to continue this as we move forward. And I would remind all of us, including me, that when people come into our offices and tell us about those great ideas, we're often quick to say, I like your idea, great idea, let's do what we can to help you. We have to be conscious of the fact that we have a limited amount of money, and we need to find a way long-term to continue this discipline. It's a good start. There are a couple other areas that are not as easy, or as difficult, I should say, as this, of how we're going to handle pensions and how we're going to handle retiree health care. Very, very significant strains on our budgets. This General Assembly has the task of having to make very, very difficult decisions if we're going to right this ship. And it is not easy to do some of the things that we have done and are about to do or need to do. So thank you on behalf of our side, to those of you on the Democrat side, for your work on this. You're to be commended as well. And to all of our members, thank you for your work, and we look forward to working with you where we can. We will continue to advocate for the things of less spending, of deciding a budget number that we think we need to live within, figuring out the revenue, and continuing this line of thinking not only this year but in the years to come. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.